So with ShareChat, can you all come together and share a louder round of applause, everyone? Let's hear it. For Udit Sharma.
But we at ShareChat and Moj are also excited about what's happening in Bharat. There is a revolution happening in India right now. It's happening right in front of our eyes, and yet we are oblivious to it. And that revolution is the short form video revolution. ShareChat essentially is your window to the world in the language that you are comfortable with. And that's how people are actually consuming content on ShareChat today. Right? 45% of the people of the people on ShareChat are still coming from the tier 1 and tier 2 cities and towns of this country. That's about 80 million people. That's not a small number. So 80 million people on ShareChat are actually coming from the tier 1 and tier 2 towns of the country. Moj, on the other hand, essentially gives you an opportunity to express your passions, your interests, your talents in all your authentic glory. It's not about putting out the most polished video out there. There are other platforms who are doing it. But Moj essentially allows you to be as authentic as you can be and put yourself out there for the people to actually see you and follow you. 87% of our Moj audiences today are actually coming from tier 1 and tier 2 towns. That's about 139 million people on a monthly basis. I'll just break it down a little further. Today we are getting about 40 million people to come on the platform on a daily basis. That's a DAO that we get on Moj. People who are actually coming on a daily basis. So let's quickly jump to the myths. And the first one that we have heard in so many of our conversations with advertisers, with marketers, is that Bharat audiences are not affluent. It's absolutely wrong. Today, when you look at, and if you talk to different brands, there are so many pieces that have come out in PR. Samsung is selling its flagship devices more in tier 2, tier 3 towns than they're selling in tier 1 now. BMW's biggest showroom is actually in Ludhiana, and they're selling more BMWs outside of tier 1 than they're selling more BMWs outside of tier 1. And the real estate growth that we are seeing in this country is today actually coming from the tier 2 and tier 3 cities of the country. And if you were to look at our own data, like the Moj data that we have collated, we've looked at how these people are actually engaging with different consumption categories, right? And you would see that the affinity that Bharat and tier 2, tier 3 is showing towards these different consumption categories is actually much stronger than the affinity that tier 1 is actually showing for these exact same categories, right? Whether it's games, news, food and drinks, that affinity is already there. Bharat is super aspirational, and that's why you would see that the growth of online commerce is actually much faster in Bharat than it's actually in India. People are super engaged on a platform like Moj, where they're spending on an average 31 minutes a day just browsing through all the short form videos that are available in your feed. Also, the same study talked about how people who are actually consuming long form video content, their affinity towards long form is actually dipping. I think there's a significant chunk. 68% of the people actually showed an increase in consumption on the short form video side, whereas only 10% of the people showed an increase towards long form video content. So short form video is definitely up on the rise. It is highly engaging. It is not casual, passive content consumption, right? So you would see two of our top influencers on Moj, right? So Adil Khan and Shivani, they're two of our top influencers, and obviously they're putting out videos in the entertainment and fashion category. And yes, there is no denying the fact that these are the most prominent categories on the platform. Having said that, #Learn on Moj is a new property that we introduced, and we are seeing massive traction there because you've got categories like finance, do-it-yourself, growing on that platform, right? And you've got now emerging influencers who are actually communicating in your language, my language, and giving details on, how do you invest, what is cryptocurrency, what is NFT, what is metaverse. These conversations are actually happening in 15-second windows now. They're not happening in 20-minute videos and half-an-hour videos. People are taking 15 seconds to explain what is happening in Metaverse. The last myth that I want to touch upon is storytelling cannot happen in short form. We come across, as a short form video platform, one of the biggest strengths that we have is that we are able to predict the trends that are about to happen in this country much faster, much sooner than anyone else, right? Because we tap into the messages that are coming onto our platform, what's getting the most engagement, what's getting the most likes, what's getting the most shares, and that tells us what are the emerging trends in this country. And if there are brands who are actually working very closely with us in tapping onto those trends. And one clear example that I want to show you here is basically makeup tutorials that are not, again, 15 minutes long, but in 20 seconds someone talks about how to put makeup on your face. So you see, the first two videos were essentially user-generated videos on our platform. When they start to get traction, we actually work very closely with, let's say, a brand like Sugar, where we are able to tap into that upcoming trend and with the help of some of our key influencers, we are actually able to immediately reach out to the audiences that Sugar would actually want to reach out. The other big differentiator that we have is with respect to how do you leverage our influencer community to reach out to audiences. What we have seen is when you give your brand ads or when you play your brand ads on a platform like Moj, the engagement levels are not as high as you would actually get if you were to use the creator community that Moj has. And we do videos like this one.
तूने मेरे से पैसे उधर लिए थे वापस कब करेगा भाई मेरा भी सर्कल थोड़ी जो इंस्टेंट मनी ट्रांसफर करे हाँ वो बात भी सही वो तो 100% सेफ एंड सिक्योर है तेरे
बेटा ये देख जैसा तुझे चाहिए था बिल्कुल वैसा ही रिश्ता आया है
अच्छा क्या उसे ट्रैवलिंग करना पसंद है फ्राइडे टू फ्राइडे
So I don't know if we have any eligible best bachelors, but do go to Bharat Matrimony. If you're into Rummy, do go to Rummy Circle. But having said that, for both those platforms, we actually managed to bring down the acquisition costs quite significantly. And the reason we were able to do that was because we didn't rely solely on the brand community, the brand ads, but we actually built these creatives using our network of influencers. So on that note, the parting message that I want to give is the short form video tsunami is right at our doorstep. And Moj is absolutely ready to work with advertisers, with marketers to actually help you leverage the strength that the platform has to actually ride that tsunami quite comfortably. So, thank you so much.